Hello and welcome to Revsportz. This is Mohur Chaudhary and welcome to the second episode of Bullseye, the Asian Dream. And joining me today for this special episode is Mr. Ronak Pandit. Well, he is a former Indian shooter. He has won multiple medals. And of course, at this point in time, he is working as the high performance manager and also has functioned as the coach of multiple eminent shooters. So thank you so much, Ronak sir, for joining us today on this special show. We are doing this series in order to build up to the Asian Games that are taking place
Mhm.
from September. So thank you for being a part of this show. First things first, before we get into talking about the Asian Games completely, I would like to know about this camp that is taking place in Delhi at this point. It's a camp for rifle and pistol shooters. What are you all preparing? Because we know that there's an ISSF World Cup which is taking place in China, and immediately after we have the Asian Games. If you could tell us about the camp that is taking place, if there are any injury prevention protocols, if you could just tell us.
Yeah. Hi, Mohor. So thank you for having me. And this camp is basically the pre-event camp before the World Cup in China, which the team is scheduled to leave tomorrow evening. And for a week before we leave for every international competition, we conduct training camps where the focus is mainly on preparing athletes for the competition part. Technically, all the athletes are pretty strong, but then to get all of them together in one place, get them to get ready for the competition, do some match and final simulations, all of those things. So that is what the camp mainly focuses on. And we have our AMS being done regularly. That's the athlete monitoring systems. So as far as the psychological health or the physical health of the athlete is concerned, that's recorded on a regular basis. And the strength and conditioning coaches and the physiotherapists of the team ensure that the athletes are physically absolutely ready for the event. And yeah, so that's what's mainly happening in Delhi right now.
Wonderful to know that. You are someone who's already won the gold you won the silver, sorry, in Asian Games
Yeah.
in 2006. And now that you go back as a manager, as a coach, if you had to compare the mindset or whatever, if even if the level of competition between both the phases, how would you put it? How would you compare then
It's
versus now?
totally different. Yeah, it's totally different. So see, this is 20 years back, right? So 20 years back, the competitions would take place on electronic targets, but we used to train on paper targets. So
Hmm.
all our training used to happen on paper targets with very limited ammunition, and there used to be no strength and conditioning trainers, no physiotherapists, no psychologists in the team. So all that we did was just complete, absolute, just only technical work. But nobody really bothered to put the body and mind in place. So it was more of willpower than systematic training that used to carry us till the podium. And we used to reach the venue, and only one day before the event, we would get training on the electronic targets. So to get accustomed and to get used to shooting on electronic targets is one day before an event, which is as big as the Asian Games. So of course, there were a lot of challenges back then, but we didn't have an option, so we just did whatever best we could. But the athletes today, from day one, they train on electronic targets. They have the best equipment for themselves, which they can import. Earlier, even importing was not so easy. There is no dearth of ammunition. Jisko jitna chahiye, they can use 200, 300, 400 rounds a day. There is a team of technical coaches, sports science staff. So it's a complete different atmosphere now, and that is why you also see the results. So if you see 2023 Asian Games in Hangzhou, where shooting had the best performance ever, and I was chief coach of the pistol shooting team at that time. Nobody could have imagined. In fact, even before we left for the Asian Games, nobody believed when we said we could come back with those many medals. And in fact, jitna bhi humne project kiya tha, we came back with more medals than what we projected. So you can see that at the World Cups, at the Asian Games, and everywhere, Indian shooting is now doing well because now we have infrastructure and systems in place. Of course, it can always be made even better. There is room for improvement, but yeah, it has come a long, long way now.
Absolutely. Now, if we had to talk a little bit about Isha, I mean, obviously she did well in the previous Asian Games as well, but this time around she has us. People are looking forward to her because she just created the world record with the gold in the Munich World Cup. What are the preparations looking like for her? Is there an added expectation? What is it looking like?
So, when you enter a competition as an underdog, when nobody is
Mhm.
expecting anything from you,
Yeah.
it's much easier to perform because there's no burden of expectations. Now, you may be a very experienced and a very talented, hardworking athlete, but at the end of the day, you're a human being. and pressure gets to each and every one of us. So the whole idea is to anticipate all the challenges that we could face at a competition and prepare for it. There is no running away from facts. We have to anticipate, we have to be aware that there will be expectations, there will be challenges, it will make our job tougher, and we have to be ready for it. So right now what we are focusing on is complete disturbance training and pressure training, where for example, on a good day what happens is you automatically fall into rhythm, and you are performing extremely well because your subconscious has taken over and now you are just riding that wave. But when you have a lot of pressure and such expectations, it's very difficult to get into the rhythm. It's very difficult to get into your zone. So what do? You have to completely play on conscious control. So that is what we're doing now. We're trying to keep her completely on conscious control.
Mm.
Even when things start falling in place, we break it up completely. So if I feel Isha has started shooting six, seven, eight, tens back to back, I will I will make her stop. I will make her stop. I will make her completely lose the flow and feel that was helping her do that. And then we try and get her back to doing it. So we're training for everything that can go wrong. We are training for everything, every challenge that we will face at the competition, and be ready for it. So that's what we are working on.
Talking about the broader team, broader, larger team, what are you expecting? How are you expecting India to do at the Asian Games this time?
So we are expecting good performances. Now, whether how many medals we win or not will also depend on how the other countries perform.
Yeah.
But what we are focusing on is going there and giving our best, being as close as possible to our personal best performances. And if we do that, we will be happy as the coaching unit of the Indian team. Will be very happy with that. And I'm sure if we are close to our top performances, we will have dozens and dozens of medals. But also, there's a challenge this time where we can't field in specialist shooters. For example, 10-meter air pistol men, rapid fire men, air rifle
Mhm.
men, 3P men. So now, all of these events have specialist shooters who completely focus on those events. But at the Asian Games, we are having to field in common shooters because there are 18 events. So for no, basically we need a team of 36 athletes. But what is happening
Mhm.
is we have a cap on maximum 30 athletes. So we need to find common shooters. So that is a big challenge. So by doing so, we're having to slightly compromise our team, because otherwise we can't field the team only.
Yeah,
So now how does that pan out? Let's see, because these challenges will also be faced by the other countries. And this
absolutely.
World Cup in China, which is coming up now
Mm.
next week, is going to be a very important competition for us. So let's see. And then we also have our training camp in August. So depending on how we perform at the China World Cup and what we realize where we are lacking, we will work and fine tune all those things in August at our training camp,
Where
and
is that
hopefully
training
September
camp
will be
taking place? Where is that training camp?
most likely in Bhopal,
Okay, okay.
and hopefully we should have a very good September then at Asian Games.
Yeah, we are all looking forward to that.
Yeah.
As the performance manager as well, how do you ensure that there is a proper team chemistry maintained, despite the fact that all of these athletes are competing against each other for individual medals and glory?
Yeah, so I think shooting is an individual sport. There are
Yeah.
team events, but at the end of the day, it is an individual sport. Even something like a mixed team event, where you have the best male shooter, the best female shooter
Yeah,
from the country shooting, vying for a medal. But at the end of the day, they have to focus on their own respective jobs. So I think it's important to be very cordial and pleasant towards each other. We don't have to be the best of friends, though a lot of us are. That's not the point that I'm trying to make. But all I'm saying is sometimes this factor of team spirit, I think, sometimes gets overrated. So as long as we are cordial, civil towards each other, as long as all of us have a common goal in our mind, which is to do our best, and that's how we get the medals and make our country proud. Everybody does what is required to do for their own performances, and that is what is required. What is more important than the athletes is for the coaching team to be united, is for the sports science team to be united, because if we are going there with 30 35 athletes, we cannot have 30 35 physios and 30 35 strength and conditioning experts and 30 psychologists and 30 technical coaches. So it's basically a handful of the coaching unit that's eventually going to take care of the entire team at large. So it's more important for the coaching unit and the coaching team to have more a better coordination amongst themselves than the athletes.
Absolutely, very well put. This question I meant to ask for a long time. I mean, I have to ask about Jaspal Rana. Obviously, you both have shared the stage for quite a bit of time, and his demise. Obviously, all of us were heartbroken. How would you describe this Jaspal Rana void walking into the Asian Games?
It is a deep void. I mean, me and Jaspal, we've had our ups and downs, but we've also won medals together
Yeah,
as
yeah.
team for the country, and we our relation goes back more than 20-22 years now. So, and he was a very important aspect in the team coaching unit. And but whatever happened was very sad, and it took us a long time. Even right now, when you spoke about this, I mean, I had goosebumps just hearing it again.
Yeah.
I mean, so yeah, I mean, we just have to come to terms with it. And yeah, I mean, it is a void. It is a void which you cannot replace. So there's nothing I can say that, oh, this is what we will do and that's what we'll do, because his experience and his perspectives were different. He had a very different way of looking at things. And the beauty of having more experts is that you look at every perspective and then come up with solutions which work in the best interest of the team. So definitely his presence will be missed, sorely missed. And I hope eventually we are able to still do justice to the requirements of the team.
Absolutely. My next question is not really about Asian Games, but it's about Commonwealth Games. I mean, you are somebody who's won the gold medal in Commonwealth Games. We were just talking about Jaspal Rana. He was also excellent
Yeah.
in CWGs. But
Mm.
in recent times, how are you looking at this exclusion of shooting from Commonwealth Games? Is it going to affect the shooting ecosystem, or is it fine because there's not much competition out there anyway for India?
No, see, it is not about whether there is competition or not, and there is competition. It's not that there is no competition. It's just that we have made ourselves so good now
Yeah,
that we
true.
call it that there is no competition. But ऐसी बात नहीं है. Australians are pretty good. The
Mm.
British team was also pretty good at one point in time. Even the South African team was quite good.
Yeah.
So it's not that, but it is sad that the Commonwealth fraternity chose to keep shooting in the optional sport and took it out. But hopefully, when we have the Commonwealth Games in India in 2030, I'm pretty sure shooting will be back. So
Mm.
it's not that the Indian shooting ecosystem um, gets deeply affected as such, because we have many other events where we go and where we perform. But whenever there is a games, it is
Mm.
the country's image, the country's reputation, and shooting has been by far the most successful sport at the Commonwealth Games. In spite of not being in the Commonwealth Games in the last couple of editions, we still are the highest medal winners. So
Yeah.
when we win so many medals for the country, the kind of motivation, the kind of push, the kind of positive spirit that it brings to the youth of the country, so that
Yeah.
is something that gets missed. So hopefully, I think better sense will prevail and will come back into the more um, core part of the events for the Commonwealth Games. However, I think it is also a wake up call for the shooting administrators to understand that yes, shooting sometimes might become a financially heavy sport, could be a burden. So maybe we need to start looking at option A, B, C, where we could have certain events which are not so heavy on the organizers' pockets, and yet don't and yet keep the ethos of the sport. And maybe yeah, it's time to think creatively. So we have best of both worlds, and there's a win-win scenario.
Absolutely. Last but not the least, any message for the viewers, the audience that will be following the Asian Games?
Yes, please watch us closely. Please root for us. Please support us. And I can assure you, we are putting in our best foot forward. We're putting in all our efforts, and hopefully, there'll be lots and lots for you to cheer. So yeah, just keep supporting us, and thank you for always having been there.
Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today. It was lovely talking to you. Very interesting conversation. Thank you so much to all of you for watching this video. Do not forget to comment down below. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And do not forget to follow Asian Games from September. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. Mohar. Thank you.
For India's best multi sports coverage, your platform is one, and that's Revsportz. So, like, share, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. I think by now you know that we will be everywhere in different parts of the world and bring you on-ground reportage. As I said, your best multi-sports coverage on Revsportz, your favorite destination.